just hired an agency to help with my backlinks with a brand new site. Getting 90% links from not US TLDs. So a TLD is like .com, .net type thing. So a non-US TLD.
Top level domain.
So a non-US TLD would be, like .mx or, German TLDs or Japanese TL, whatever, .jp. So 90% links are not from US TLDs or close to my niche and the content type. All English sites, but not US based. Should I care at this point that they are all not .com, .net, or .org? I'm super small. Or is any non-toxic link a win?
And for a little bit more, I think this guy had also posted a image to go with it that showed they were moving up in the rankings, I believe, right? Yeah, so it's more of, they're inquiring because they're worried that maybe, it will lead to something bad.
So,
Um,
do you want to start off? Do you want me to just go?
Either's fine.
So
Go
yeah,
ahead.
this is something we actually talk about pretty often. And so, if I was to look at this person's backlink profile, right away he said it's not the content is not related to their niche, so it's non-relevant, and it's coming from all this, non-US sites. Um, so yeah, pretty much right away, I would say the backlink profile looks pretty unnatural. And we also say pretty often that these types of things can actually work, and sometimes they can work very well. The problem with them is sometimes they come crashing down very hard. So if you're building an entire backlink profile on, you have a US based site, you're trying to get US traffic, whatever, and you've got all these foreign sites with English content, and it's all not related to your content at all, I'd say there's a pretty good chance that this kind of thing can backfire. It might not though. It could work. It's just
Well,
we're not looking at anything that could be even close to best practices here.
right. Yeah, best practice, right? Now, hypothetical though, remember that whenever Google does slap something or, decide that a website isn't trustworthy, it has to know with 100% certainty written into the algorithm that it is something that it can snipe. Otherwise, it's going to affect a whole ecosystem of websites that operate on the same values. And so let's think about why this is working right now, or why it wouldn't be quote writable within its algorithm to just pick at sites like this. So best practices, like Chris said, niche relevant and geographic relevant stuff. Especially if you want to rank in the US and you're not getting any movement from US websites in the form of backlinks, in the end, even if it doesn't hurt your site um, within the US SERPs, it's also probably going to stagnate in the US SERPs. So, a hypothetical, let's say you've got, and from a natural perspective, you've got a product that's US based that expats in India have decided they really like, and they're eating it up more than the US market is, right? Which happens. This happens a lot. Well, what you'll come to find is that US based website will start ranking more for Indian based traffic. And if that's, if you're not shipping Amazon products out there or whatever you're doing with your website, this might be counterproductive to what you're trying to do with your platform, right? And so, like Chris said, consider your market, consider who is buying from you, and you want to try and narrow in on that. Even if you don't get popped for doing something like this, and I would say, like, overall, it's not a natural, like Chris said, it's not natural, but it can happen. But what it's going to do is it's going to skew your data so that it looks like you are effective in this geographic region or with these people versus in the region that you're actually trying to rank for. So, you got to be wary of stuff like that.
I just want to add a couple little more little notes in here as well. First of all, so he said, 90% of the links are not close to his niche. So
I'm wondering if he means like general blogs or if he means like just like
completely
You know,
random
he's on a
stuff. Yeah.
complete
So that's what I think.
PBN
It's just like
style.
completely random stuff. Like maybe your article or your website is all about digital cameras and you're getting links from like pet blogs or
But people take pictures of
fashion
their
or
pets.
whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And so it really so I just want to add a little disclaimer here is that I feel like a lot of people like misunderstand relevance and they're like, my blog, this blog post is about, for example, long range camera lenses. And so anything that is not about long range camera lenses is not relevant, which is just not the case. You could do so like working your way up the chain, you could do something that's relevant if it's just about camera lenses. You could do something that's relevant even if it's just about digital cameras or just about cameras or about photography in general or even maybe art, right? So you can keep zooming out and expanding the niche into the kind of the larger, more general niche that you're still in, and these kinds of things can still be good. I'm not saying that you don't ever want links that are super relevant. Of course, those are going to be really good for you as well. But just kind of a little disclaimer, because I'm not really sure what the asker, how he's judging of exactly like how non-relevant these links are. But yeah, if you got an article about camera lenses and you're getting links from, you know, pet food and a Japanese bar and grill and SEO optimization or just a bunch of random stuff like that, then of course those things are not exactly relevant, right? And I don't think anyone could really say they're related in any way. Um, and then he says, and then we're talking about the TLDs. So if it wasn't 90%, let's just say you got
Yeah.
one link or a few links or even a handful of links from non-relevant or from foreign TLDs. That I would say is, don't worry about it. Even that they could do like some good work for you, right? Because it's just natural. People even completely natural sites will get links like this over time. As long as it doesn't make up a massive part of your backlink profile, but you're saying like 90% non-relevant. So if it actually is 90% non-relevant, then
I'd start skewing the other way.
yeah, I would start working on going the other direction, right? And so if this is if you just signed on with this agency and this is what they're building for you, um, maybe you want to look into having a good talk with them or maybe possibly going in a different direction with your agency hire because it's not really I
Yeah,
just,
this could
especially when
this
you're
could
working on
be
a client site, this is not something I would ever do. When working on a client site, I would go much more conservative and much safer and much more in
for
line with best
sure.
practices rather than this, which could be seen as kind of black hat stuff, right? I'm not sure exactly what kind of types of links these are, but super non-relevant and a bunch of foreign stuff could be kind of iffy and could, potentially damage someone's site. Not to say that damage could even be unfixed. I don't want to scare you too much. You can always, even if you did tank in the rankings, you could generally fix stuff like this by just building the good stuff. So it's not something to freak out about, but definitely something to correct. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Be sure to check the description below for links to our blog for more info on this topic, along with a bunch of other cool stuff like case studies, our Facebook community, and our link building services. And like always, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell if you enjoyed the video. Thanks and happy ranking.